Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, episode 98 is upon us here in the Challenge Series, 2 weeks into the new season, and likewise, I think we have two new debuting drivers this week. One we will see here, and the other we will see a bit later. We are at the Tokyo Expressway East Loop. 750 class race is on offer here. Tokyo is always a little bit chaotic, but it's, I don't know. It's just there's a couple of breaking points here that are difficult to master, especially in heavy traffic. Which seems only ironic considering we're racing on an expressway, that even when we narrowed down the expressway traffic to just 20 vehicles, traffic is still a problem. But, with that said, let us begin round one of this episode. And the first race of the day, well, episode, is green. JJ West may be your pole sitter, but I can guarantee you that little GT300 car ain't gonna be there for too long. And you just got a glimpse of one of our new drivers of the episode. Somewhere in this pack of sardines. Seriously, there he is. That would be Akirano Regai. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. That's a Group C car. I don't know how they got it. All I know is it does meet the 750 class regulations. And that's even considering the fact that it's on racing medium tires. We kind of had to make an exception for that. Kind of awkward, but I really wanted to see this thing race just because it just seemed funny to me. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. This thing's gonna be super underpowered anyway. It's not gonna have any straight line speed. Its top speed is 184 because it's, I guess, a trim that wasn't for Le Mans but for something else. By the looks of it, I would probably guess something like a Daytona maybe. Even then, that would be a high-speed track. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But we are on board with Brian Ice, who's already made pretty quick work of, well, the entire grid. He's already moved to the lead. And he's got his teammate Mika Harris playing tail gunner as, well, actually they both just outbroke him like an absolute coward into the final hairpin. But yeah, Murcielago, four-wheel drive, sorry, Murcielago, whatever the pronunciation is, four-wheel drive, these two cars, not. Brian Ice will cruise ahead of the Audi-powered MR2 and lead us across the start-finish line to complete the first lap of the race. And in come the pit stops. Well, the new guy avoided the chaos, but yeah, as you can see, he's already topping out here. This gets dusted by Shaughnessy, and he's going to be overtaken by Taniguchi pretty shortly here as well. They're both buzzing the limiter, but the Super's just a little bit better in a straight line. Yeah, Pacific Spirit has not been much of a presence lately, but I suppose now with the way that the teams work having been changed, that's not grammatically correct at all, but you get the idea. I'm sure they and a lot of other teams will be making a comeback. A four-car team that almost has a bit of at one point had a stranglehold on the upper classes. We'll see if they can recapture that or not. Nico in a Pacific Spirit sandwich at the moment. And Brian Ice just kind of free to take the track at his own pace, which, to be fair, even if he's the leader, that pace is still going to be pretty high. Not many people here like to just control the race at their own speed. They will always be going full pace. Mika Harris down the inside of Nico. And that pass will be made pretty cleanly. Now, Yazawa's got quite a big run on the Ford GT, though. Down the inside, the Toyota goes. think we saw her buzz 245 at the braking point. And that's why we run this layout in these cars. No other layout is a straightaway long enough for these things. Now, we're about to cross over to the final lap. Mika Harris had a little bit of a run on Yazawa, but it's completely died out. Brian Ice is the best acceleration probably of anybody on the racetrack with that four-wheel drive. But his torque runs out at about 230-something miles an hour. But these two back here, it doesn't stop. 246 this time for Nico. That's still not enough to keep Mika Harris at bay. She has to outbrake the Ford GT, and she will do so. And they'll both close in a pretty good bit on Brian Ice. Tomas Pager is also not too far away. He's in a decent spot, especially if things get a little bit hairy on this final lap. Now we're coming up to the final corner. Mika Harris is still right on Nico's tail. Those names sound really similar when you say them too fast. Sending it is the Ford GT of Harris. Gets to the inside. Nico just kind of has to accept that L. And now just one last run down the front straightaway. Might be looking at a Pacific Spirit 1-2. That would certainly be a bit of a resurgence from a team that's been relatively dormant for most of Season 2. As Brian Ice heads across the start-finish line, Tokyo Expressway victory, and second place goes to his own teammate Mika Harris. Nico gets a mere podium, but the win could have gone to any one of these three, if things laid out a little bit differently. It seems that that straight line speed has really gotten the better of Ray Guy back here. They come away with 14th, but I can almost assure you that if this were a track with, not a straightaway that's a mile and a quarter long, that 962C would probably be pretty dangerous in a good way. If we had a lot of corners, basically. I mean, this track has high-speed turns, just not enough to offset that long straightaway. But let us now head to round 2 of the episode. We are here for the second race of the episode. We head to Red Bull Ring, or Spielberg, as some people call it. Because that's where it is. It's kind of like Monaco versus Monte Carlo, or Circuit of the Americas versus Austin. Formula 1 tracks are weird like that. Anyway. Yeah. Red Bull Ring plays host to the 675 class. A bit of a longer race. It clocks in at 5 laps, which actually probably won't be that long anyway. Red Bull Ring is a pretty quick lap, no matter what you're driving, just because the average speeds here are so high. But, yeah, and then the POV is Noir in her, basically new TVR Tuscan, in a race that had almost exclusively female drivers. It was kind of weird. I think I was on like 5, but anyway, let's just get into the race and you guys will see for yourself. Nice lights. Race 2 of the episode is green from Red Bull Ring. As we head up towards T1, and turn 2 especially will be an interesting test to see if we can actually avoid having a bunch of wrecked cars, because I always call Monza the most expensive track the Challenge Series goes to. Red Bull Ring and Tokyo Expressway, for that matter, are definitely second and third on that list. And we're down the inside of many cars ahead of Tyler McIntosh. One of, I want to say, like 3 male drivers in the whole race. No, 4. Scarborough, me, Jake Downey, and Tyler. Those are the only male drivers in this whole race. Oh, that is a clusterfuck up there. Yeah, me, Tyler, Jake, and Jake. That's a racing line from Noir. She gets ahead of her sister, Uni. And into the top half of the running order with that move. As you can see, I'm currently falling down the order. I started like 4th, but I didn't have time to adjust my NSX setup because I was too busy trying to register the 2 drivers and to work on making the rule exception that allows Ray Guy to race in a fucking 962. Because racing hard tires, unless it's the dirt division, are the solid regulation. At no point has that changed other than when it rains, and then it's just kind of whatever you want to do. Noir moves up to 8th, kind of giving elbows out a little bit against Scarborough, but well, I know Jake, you would do the same thing to her, so looking to the outside of Nico, and that's relatively easy. Nico was kind of held up by Pepper Mills just there, which made Noir's job a lot easier. Barber just stole 2nd from Yo, and don't give it too long at a track like this, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, she's already going down Nittery's inside. She wants the whole thing. Inside lane, stable on throttle application, and Barbara is the new race leader. Just like that. None of the 4-wheel drive in the world could up Nittery there, and for that matter, Yo's gonna take advantage of her compromised exit from 1 and get herself to P2. And Noir is quickly approaching this little top 5, which I kind of expect to be a 2nd through 5th battle in a minute. Barbara's probably gonna set sail here, I would say. Nittery just fell like a rock the second that Barbara got ahead of her. She lost 3 more places in rapid succession, as we saw Noir also get a little bit of oversteer there. Just pushing to get up to this top field here. An equally big slide from Nittery, which she doesn't have an excuse. Her car's 4-wheel drive. Nittery defends the inside, but I don't think Noir is necessarily... Well, my god, Kappa. More oversteer from the Mitsubishi, and Noir will barely escape and move into the top 5. The 2 Cinderes is going to go side by side into turn 2, but you didn't hear me say that. Noir will just outbrake Maki with ease. Honestly, could have hit the apex at turn 2. I don't care. I'm calling it turn 2. It's not turn 3. FIA, you can stop yourself. Noir just absolutely embarrassed Kotori on exit just there. She's going to get ahead following that little slip up from the Alfa Romeo driver into the top 3 with basically a lap left to go in the race. Barbara holds a pretty steady advantage of, I would say, roughly 3 seconds. Actually, it's like 2.5. And Noir is gonna have a peek down the inside of the Lancer driver, but no one's home. However, a better exit means that Noir will be right on her tail heading up the hill to the hairpin. See what she does with it. Nothing. Still can't find a way to deal with that Lancer. It's got plenty of low-range acceleration, and that's kind of difficult to overcome here at the Red Bull Ring. Noir definitely has the run here around the outside, door to door, nose to bumper. Yep, no. And Noir manages to just about weasel her way around the Evo driver, but I think time has expired, as there's only 2 more corners to make, and Barbara has made them both. She will head out of the final turn and return to form from her championship victory. Barbara Page wins from the Red Bull Ring. Noir climbs to P2, and Yo Watanabe will round out the podium. Jake, the highest running male driver in the race, finishing 8th place. That is just... I don't even know. Are we in, like, the W series or something? Like, there was some other Formula series. I'd probably ask Jake about it, ironically. He follows that stuff, not me. I really need to get this NSX, like, worked down. This is pathetic. This is one of my better tracks. It's just, this NSX has no power. It feels like I'm driving a 640 class car, and I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't work on it at all over the weekend because I was busy trying to get Regai and our other new driver situated, but next weekend. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said they'll do it tomorrow. But what we'll do today is go on to race 3. Alright, race 3 has arrived. As you can see by the mirrored flag, we are at High Speed Ring. Never actually looked at the pre-race, like, location previews here. This is actually a really nice looking place, but you just never see any of it because you're going at such high speeds. And I don't really race here myself very often. As evidenced by the fact that even in this race, I'm not a part of it, so... Anyway, yeah, the 715 class race is here, and we'll be using the reverse layout, as we've sort of determined that the reverse layout is generally safer. Not always, but the fact that, just the way that the final corner works, which would normally be the first corner going forwards, is a lot safer to take. Having, this corner we're looking at be turns 1 and 2, yep, this one right here is a lot safer than the other alternative. So, with that said, let us head in to the race. We were doing so well with the lights game, what the heck? Anyway, race 3 is away. We are running on board with Katie Rose in her 8th generation Corvette. Ironically, we had an 8th gen... Yes, we had an 8th gen pole on Corvette. No, we had an 8th gen Corvette on pole, last round's winner Barbara Page, and we have another one starting in last. And there's one in the middle of the field with McIntosh, so there's a lot of C8s going around. For anyone wondering how, in the name of God, Tyler managed to make his way from, to High Speed Ring from Red Bull Ring in about a day and a half, just don't wonder too much. Airfare is really good in the Challenge Series universe, almost like the Traveler Series. The Traveler Series honestly doesn't sound too bad as a name, but we've been running with this one for a while. What the? Hello? Trigger? Head empty? No thoughts? What was that? That was bizarre. Oh my god, this looks like a pack race. Oh, I see, well, I know where she learned it from. Setsuko's doing the same thing. She's just taking the lead doing it. And I guess Katie is like, I can do that too, and she's made up a bunch of time doing it. Barbara has lost the lead to an S15 because Setsuko has the elite strats when it comes to making the corners, apparently. Interesting. And Katie didn't feel like trying that one. And she's kind of running the middle lane here, though. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Alright, well that's not- Oh god! And again. Oh, what do you do? Oh. Well, that looked absolutely fucking brutal. That looks straight up intentional. There can be only one 8th gen. Katie, if that's the case, you missed one. Luckily for Barbara, she gets the wall sideways on here at about 120. That's still gonna frickin' hurt. Slides back into the path of John Garrison, who's doing 170 miles an hour. And that basically writes off the car right there, because that's a lot of engine damage that's not getting fixed. Into the wall again, about 70. And then pulls back onto the racetrack, for some reason, into Sophia Meyer, who's doing about 110. And she's just gonna fucking drive away from that? There's no fucking way. Anyway, we didn't even call a yellow or red flag for that for some reason. I don't know why the fuck not. That looked like it could have killed somebody. Which this time it wouldn't really have been the fault of the track. It would have been the fault of Katie Rose here turning down for what? No, really, for what? Why did she turn down? I don't know. We'll never know. Yeah, I know, that's not her ghost driving the car. That's her. I don't know how the fuck she's alive. I gotta be honest. That's like... This is not the first time she's had a big crash here. And it was a miracle she walked away from that one, too. Because that was about a 1080 spin with two separate impacts. This was, well, only a 360 spin, but with 3 separate impacts. 2 with, or 4 actually, 2 with the wall, and 2 with other cars. And then our Satan's favorite demon has just taken the race lead away from Setsuko. Didn't wreck her, almost wrecked herself. Does this do with the Grandmasters somehow? I'll have to check in with Donnie or Tyler on this one. To see if they know what the hell's going on. I mean, I know the background of this crew. The Rose sisters are demons, and the Angelo siblings are, demigods? Children of demigods, I think, actually. So think, like, Thor or Loki. It really just kind of makes you wonder why they're even driving cars in the first place. Anyway. Yeah. Well, the battle for the lead is basically non-existent, but there's always something happening here at High Speed Ring. The battle for 7th is still very much going on. Full car battle for position. We also got a 3-car battle right ahead of them with Tyler, Thrasher, and Katie's half-brother Buck. Monticello and Meyer have been too wide for like an entire lap, I'm pretty sure. And they finally get it settled out. Meyer surprisingly took no damage from being driven into in Barbara's probably stupor days. And gets stupefied. That's 2 references I didn't think I'd make today. Meyer will out-drag Fidel Fabian. Despite being based off of NASCAR, that thing does not have the most straight-line speed here, to say the least. I believe Cameron and Kaiser took damage early on in the race, because I can assure you these cars are much faster than 14th and 15th. Or 13th and 14th, rather. Oh, that's why this is Levi, not Sophia. That's why this car doesn't have any damage, because I didn't hit anything. Sophia's back here in... I'm stupid. Sophia's back here in 17th with Garrison, who also got damaged when Barbara's car was slowing out of control. This thing is still running, by the way. Like, yeah, she's not gonna get any higher on the running order, but it's still on the racetrack. and Barbara's still driving it like she's pushing for a position, so I don't even know what to say on this. I guess that's her way of saying I'm okay. Anyway, we've begun the final lap. Setsuko may have the fastest lap of the race, but she can't seem to get it done. She can't out-drag that Corvette. How are you the way that you are? I still can't get over any of what's happened here. I don't understand how that car is even running. I don't know how the driver in it is still alive. And I don't get why Katie's did that, and I don't get why we didn't throw a flag out for that. I don't know. Thrasher was right here. He probably saw the crash. Why? I don't understand. Anyway, confusion all aside, Katie Rose is going to take the checkered flag here from High Speed Ring in certainly A fashion. Setsuko will grab second place with her unique routes around the racetrack, and Hans Frankfurt will take a very quiet third. Thrasher will indeed win the drag race for fourth, but I just have so many questions here as we leave High Speed Ring. I do not. But yeah, no, apparently Barbara's car is not even totaled from that. Unless she was just driving it, like, with some duct tape and, like, sticky paste or something, I don't know. I'm just... Race 4. My brain is fried. We have arrived at Race 4 for a rather uncommon venue here in the Challenge Series. We don't go here very often. We're here at Willow Springs. And I can kind of tell you why, because the desert heat here is not worth bearing for a kind of mediocre track, when we could very easily just go a little bit west to Laguna Seca and have a much better track. Usually gets a better turnout, too. Gas. I say that as if we had a hard time getting a full 20-car grid here, but we only had 21 register the last time we raced at Laguna Seca in the 640 class, which is what we're racing in here. The last time we did that, I think we had 28, so... And that was on a Monday or something, I don't even remember anymore, man. Anyway, yeah, Willow Springs. And here, we will soon be meeting the second of our debuting drivers of the episode. But, well, we have to start the race for that first. Man, come on! Start lights. Fuck's sake. Anyway, the race I can't talk. POV driver is one Tyler McIntosh in his Super Impreza. I never fully got why this car out of nowhere. They seem to have a thing for, well, now Chevy, but originally it was a Super B. He's all over the grid. A Super B, a Supra, a Chevy, and now an Impreza. I don't know. Anyway. Slides down the inside of Fidel Fabian as we head into the slow section of the track. But to draw attention to the debuting driver, the ST205 Celica, driven by August Embers, a friend of the person that literally just overtook them, Thrasher. Joined on a personal recommendation from Thrasher. Pretty much the most I know about them is that and that they do a lot of live streaming and such, kind of like what Thrasher does. Oh, Tyler makes a bit of contact with my dad, who's kind of had to chuck up for the two-car battle going on in front of him, which Konata Izumi has definitely won. Everybody just kind of tours down the front stretch. Oh dear. Why is this sand? Oh, double contact with Scarborough. That's an interesting one. Jake just forgot to check his mirrors there as he was trying to make a move on my dad. Okay, that time was just understeer from Tyler. Alright, that time not so much. Now Jake turned in on him again, and Tyler's had enough, and he runs him off into the sand hills. Now I can attest from personal experience, these two have had a history of arguing and bickering and bitching at each other, so it wouldn't surprise me if we saw that again. They're friends 80% of the time, but the other 20%, oh. Clear the room. The contact gave both Jake and Tyler some significant damage, and now Tyler is contending with his teammate, Fidel Fabian. Well, Jake's teammate, not his literal teammate. Oh, it happened again. Oh my god, huge sideways. Huge, what? You said a repeat of what happened in the previous lap. Fidel tried to move over to pass De La Cruz. Tyler got massively unstable because he got put into the sand. And blares his horn in disapproval. And yep, there's the bumper. This is about to get ugly, I think. I mean, it was already a little ugly when Tyler ran into Jake after getting hit by him twice. But Al does allow space into this left-hander, which Jake failed to do before. Oh, more contact there. I was going to try and get down the inside of the crown. Okay, I saw those wheels. That was intentional. Not that I necessarily blame him a whole ton. He's been fucked by both JSR drivers in this race. Spins Fidel in front of both Alara and Watkins. They both have to scramble to avoid, which the latter failed to do. Yeah, that was a blatant left turn there. McIntosh had seen enough. Fidel could not save the car in spite of his rally skill. You're supposed to remain predictable when you've spun, Fidel. I don't know if your years of ARC has taught you that. Probably not. You know, it's like an actual race. We have Axel Valentine taking the lead away from Tony Berry while this was going on. I mean, it's about as routine as it gets. He got down the inside. He had the better straight line speed. And Tony understeered a little bit, allowing him to overtake. Walker's running third behind this, and Axel's teammate Thrasher's just escaped this two-car battle between Keith and Vert. Pole Sitter's only running a mere 7th place, lacking the horsepower to keep up. These two are still battling. Burt Wheeler is going to come out on top, though. A little bit of home field advantage, because this is, after all, in California, at the very least. That also still applies to literally the, well, 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th, equally. Cameron being from Michigan has no benefits, but the other 4 are literally from the Pacific Northwest, or at least the West Coast. It's the final lap for the mid-pack here. Tyler has a big run on multiple cars, gets ahead of both August and Derek into one corner. I believe what I was told about August's kind of underwhelming debut here is that they had their gear ratio set too long for this track. Which they figured out pretty quickly, so... Yeah, I guess they were testing the car at Monza, out of all places, and they had the gear ratio set really long for that because it's Monza, but Willow Springs only has one straightaway, and it's not really all that long. As the sort of lead-ish pack files through the back half of the circuit, Axel Valentine, he's made quite a lead here. I'd say that's about 3 seconds in hand. Pseudo home track advantage, even though he'd call Laguna Seca or Grand Valley Highway his home circuit. Axel Valentine will take a decisive victory here from Willow Springs. Tony Berry will grab P2, and Cam P3. Thrasher for Heath, all kind of running in that lead group. And as we see here, it was a drag race for 8th. Connor Nazing is gonna barely hang on to that position over the charging Subaru. Tyler gets 9th after being basically swatted around by JSR for the first half of the event. That'll be a fun, paddock talk I really don't want any part of. Unfortunately, I kind of have to be a part of it. Well, I mean, I didn't because I wasn't here, but it's my problem. So, you know how that goes. At the final race of the episode, the roulette race, as per tradition, yep, that is the English language, folks, I swear. Not really. Or it's certainly a mockery of it. Why do these pre-race screens scroll so fast? My god. Anyway, yeah. The roulette race here from Watkins Glen, it is actually only the short layout this time because we love a little bit of chaos. As if races 3 and 4 didn't bring us enough of that, I guess. I don't know, don't ask. With any rate though, or at any rate, on to the race. Maybe the starting lights will work this time. We'll see. Yeah, there they are this time, and we are away from the Glen. Now the car you're looking at is basically a dead vet walking. As the number so verifies, that's Barbara Page. Bet a nickel for every time Barbara has crashed at High Speed Ring and come back literally the next week with a redesigned Corvette. I have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's really freaking weird that it's happened twice. Make a big chunk of contact with Buck there, heading up the S's. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I know exactly what's happening here, and I'm honestly surprised we haven't already seen it happen. I think that's kind of why Buck ran into Barbara, because I think even he might know. Yeah, our precious little nun girl is not too pleased with what happened earlier this week. From what I'm told, the Nitro Knights got this 8th gen Corvette fixed at literally the last minute, and if this race happened anywhere else, Barbara wouldn't be able to compete in it. Also, say hi to Ray Guy again. The 962C is back, and still getting overtaken as Veronica Katsuragi takes the race lead away. It is basically a color inverse, to be honest. There really isn't much else of a difference. So that's also what happened with Barbara's C7 Corvette, so... I think Barbara wanted to do it there, but Farah Fidanzi was kind of around, and Barbara knows, like, the #1 rule of revenge in the Challenge Series is... if you get pissed at somebody, you can let them know. Just don't get anybody else caught up in it. Well, at least nobody else that doesn't deserve it. And Farah does not deserve to be caught up in whatever's about to happen with these 2 8th gens, that's for sure. Katie also ironically followed the same rules, sort of. At the very least, the people that were behind them kind of had a chance to react to it rather than just being pushed into the crash, or the crash being pushed into them. Barbara is really biding her time here. Head up the S's, still no decisive attack. I guess she's not uncontrollably angry. She's just, you know, just a calculated bit of revenge. I think. Unless she's bluffed. Flying to Sin, Barbara. Yep, nope. There it is. Oh! Delivered right into the wall. It doesn't take out this Corvette either. But a 70-mile-an-hour impact doesn't even damage the engine, and Barbara just kind of rejoins the circuit like she didn't do that. Buck, however, is probably not happy since that's Katie's half-brother. As I understand. He kind of has that nobody fucks with my sister but me mentality. Or sisters, for that matter. So, I'd be quite surprised if we don't see another Corvette in the wall before the checkered flag is waving. John Garrison makes a pass for the 675 class lead over Noir. I've tried to put her in the grass. Barbara saw right through it and resisted. She does know who she's dealing with, by the way. It's not like she's just, like, blissfully ignorant of who she's facing. As a matter of fact, I do believe that the fact that she is dealing with what could be considered monsters from some other world is precisely why she's so staunch about getting even with them, maybe even taking them out. I don't really know if I go that far, but now Buck's pitting from the rear-end collision they made earlier, so I guess in a sense you can call this a victory for Barbara. I mean, they're out of the race, out of contention. Man, that Evans door is frickin' loud. The top three are very spread out. The top, everybody is pretty spread out, honestly. August is back in this race as well. They've shortened their gear ratios. Change the gear! I don't know. They have shortened the gear ratios, so while everything is falling apart around them, they've made improvements to their setup. Also, I was in this race. I kind of had to be. Not only because Thrasher and Nitri weren't a part of it, but also just because I knew what was going to go on between Barbara, who's also now pitting, and Katie, after hearing about what happened on Wednesday. And I kind of had to make sure, you know, I had to moderate the thing, even if it was from back here in, 18th place. Could be worse. Connor got damage on lap 1, and he's been lapped by Veronica just over halfway through the event. I would say now we'll see if Barbara can get back into the category lead, but there's only one other car in front of her that's in her class, and that's Logan. However, I don't really know how clean of an overtake it's going to be. I suspect that since they're on the same team, Logan probably is the reason why those, well, various beings are after Barbara in the first place. I am aware of vaguely of what happened between Logan and the Nitro Knights. And more specifically the car that's sitting literally right behind him, who I'm surprised Logan didn't try and take out. Now Barbara is here. Ta-da! Wait. Shh, I'm breaking the fourth wall. Ahead of Copeland, ahead of McIntosh. Logan is overtaking Noir. That's not even for a category position, that's just for an overall position. Barbara will do the same exact thing. Around the outside of Logan, who didn't do anything. And ahead of John Garrison to get back to where she was before she even pit. So it's almost like nothing even happened. We have what may be a battle for second in the class. Farah, damn it, Overwatch. You mess with my brain. Farah Padanzi is caught up to the back of the 962C. And the power advantage is plainly obvious. Holy crap. The 962 can probably fight on the corners though, and oh yeah, that's no contest, but it's very much a polarizing case of speed versus cornering. The 962C that weighs half as much and has way more downforce versus an Aventador with an extra 375 horsepower under the hood. Make your choice. Wow, this is again, these are the type of battles for position you can only see in the Challenge Series. This very guy almost misses the carousel. Lap cars are going to play a factor, but, well, Ellie's not. Oh, actually she is. She's gonna get in Akirana's way, but not in Farah's way. Final lap for the race leader here, as there's only 20 seconds left on the race timer. And Veronica has quite a lead in hand, but that Aventador has four-wheel drive and more horsepower. Not by much, but more. As Barbara makes her way through the 600 category lap cars. No real competition for her category victory in sight. Especially not when the race is over for Logan, who didn't cross in time. Lap traffic's playing a bit of a spanner. August just, not really much they could do, really. The bus stop is not really the best place to be lapping anybody, but I don't think Veronica had a choice. Padanzi gets ahead of it a little easier. But we're just about out of time here. Up. Raven moved over.
Way.
Oh no!
I can't believe this.
You gotta be kidding me! Farah Padanzi is gonna take the victory here at Watkins Glen after Veronica got blocked by lap traffic in the form of her own sister. Oh, that's gonna be a fun family dinner. Oh, who am I kidding? Oh, you can't make this shit up, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a story for the ages. Near fatal crash on Wednesday, revenge and sweet victory on Friday. I mean, she didn't literally win the race, but she won in her category, and that's kind of what matters. John Garrison will win the 675 class, as the race is already over for literally everybody else. My dad will take the 640 class victory. And Sarah O'Donnell will win the 600 class, which was comprised of 3 cars. Me, her, and her boyfriend. So, you know. I beat one of them, I didn't beat the other one. I don't know what the bigger story is here. The fact that Veronica lost an easy win because her sister blocked her on the final straightaway. Or Barbara taking payback. Barbara's usually a little more timid than that, and she doesn't really like to hurt people. But then again, you could make the case that the drivers of Demon Sports, other than Logan, are not regular human beings, and so, I don't know. I would ask, she probably wouldn't give me an answer. She likes to kind of keep her true feelings deep down inside because she doesn't want to bother other people with them. So we'll just leave it there. That has been it for episode 98. Quite an eventful one. A little bit of a bloodbath from, like, Wednesday onward, but no totals, not even a DNF to anybody's name here. And somehow no deaths. I'm still not sure how Barbara is even walking, let alone driving at top speed, but... I don't know. I just don't know.